Wisdom beyond words. Wisdom beyond words.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. If you're someone who loves to quickly grasp profound ideas, maybe unlock some fresh perspectives, then you are definitely in the right place today.
Absolutely. We're taking a really fascinating journey.
We are. We're looking into these subtle assumptions that, well, they shape our everyday reality. Assumptions we often don't even notice, but they're silently sculpting how we see the world, ourselves, everything.
That's right. We're diving into what Abhi Duggal from the School of Breath actually calls the 5 grand illusions. It's really about peeling back those layers.
Yeah.
Finding out how recognizing them, and here's the key, particularly through conscious breathing, can lead to just immense spaciousness, real power, and maybe a more playful way of being.
Playful, I like that. So our mission today is really to unveil reality through the breath, to see how dissolving the hold of these illusions can genuinely transform things. And this isn't just like abstract theory, it's about getting practical insights, things that can actually reduce stress, open up pathways to more freedom in your daily life.
Exactly. It's tangible.
So what's the sort of core idea Abhi Duggal wants us to get about these illusions overall, before we dive into the first one?
Well, what's really interesting is how he frames them, not as these big, obvious problems, but as these invisible forces, subtle prisons almost.
Invisible prisons.
Yeah, their silent influence often leads to that internal conflict we feel, or maybe persistent anxiety, that sense of being disconnected from ourselves, from others.
Okay.
But the profound promise here, and this is the hopeful part, is that by simply recognizing them, just bringing them into your awareness, you can actually dissolve their power, step into a more authentic kind of liberation.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's start peeling them back. What's the first illusion he brings up?
The first one is predictability.
Predictability. That makes sense. It's such a fundamental human thing, isn't it? This deep need for certainty.
Totally.
We plan, we forecast, we try to map out every single step. From, the really small stuff to the big life decisions.
Yeah, like checking the weather app obsessively.
Oh, absolutely. Or, trying to predict the traffic down to the minute for your commute. Even planning out a simple coffee date, we want to know exactly how it's going to go. Lock it all down.
Expecting life to just follow our neat little forecast.
Right.
But the deeper truth, and you see this echoed in ancient wisdom and even modern science, is that absolute certainty. It's just not possible. Life is this constantly unfolding, tapestry of variables.
So all those times the forecast said sun and you got a sudden downpour.
Exactly. Or that unexpected detour that totally changed your route, maybe led you somewhere interesting.
Or even that coffee date you can plan to meet, sure, but you can't predict the actual conversation, can you? The unexpected laugh or maybe some surprising news.
Never. And we cling to predictability because it feels safe, right? But ironically, it often creates this low-level tension because our nervous system is sort of always bracing for things, not going to plan. We resist the natural flow.
So that clinging, that need to know what's next, it leads to discomfort, resistance when life inevitably throws a curveball. It just drains energy.
Precisely. It creates this state of clinging, resisting life's organic unfolding. And Abhi Duggal actually poses this reflection question for you, the listener.
Okay.
If you truly surrendered the need to know what's coming next, what possibilities might open up for you today? The real freedom isn't in knowing the future. It's in cultivating our ability to adapt, to respond gracefully to whatever comes up.
And I guess that's where things like conscious breathing fit in.
Exactly. It anchors you right here, right now. A deep, mindful breath creates that pause, that crucial space between the trigger-like uncertainty and your usual reaction. It lets you observe that frantic need to predict instead of just getting swept away by it.
That's a powerful question. Really makes you stop and think about how much energy we pour into trying to control the uncontrollable.
You've led us right into the next one.
Have I? Okay. Which one is it?
Abhi Duggal calls this one perhaps the most insidious: control.
Oh, yeah. That one resonates. We seem to be constantly striving to control things. Not just our own lives, but, well, everyone else's too sometimes. Trying to control your kids' choices or your partner's moods, good luck with that one. Or colleagues' opinions. Even the stock market.
Oh, the stock market, yes.
Yep.
Or I've seen parents trying to micromanage every single aspect of their teenager's life.
Right.
Or managers dictating every tiny detail.
And what happens? It stifles creativity, right? Breeds resentment.
Almost always. The core insight here is that true control, the kind we imagine, it's just an illusion. You can influence, sure. You can set intentions. You can act wisely.
But you can't dictate outcomes, not in this complex web of everything.
Exactly. The universe has its own intelligence, its own flow. And this illusion, this drive for control, it just fuels anxiety. It makes us feel like we need to manipulate things, people, and ultimately, it leads to deep disappointment when reality inevitably doesn't match our script.
So the real power isn't in controlling, but in skillfully responding. Dancing with what is, maybe, instead of fighting it.
Beautifully put. Dancing with what is. So here's the reflection for you on this one. What specific outcome are you trying to control right now? Be honest with yourself. And what would it feel like to just gently loosen your grip on it?
Gently loosen the grip.
It's tough, isn't it? Because we equate control with safety, with security. But often the hardest part isn't letting go of the attempt to control. It's letting go of the idea that we should be in control. Because our real power, our agency, lies in how we respond, not in sticking rigidly to a plan.
That one definitely hits home. I think many of us can relate to that constant internal battle. Okay, moving on. What's next?
Illusion number 3, time.
Time. I'm running out of time. How many times a day do we think or say that? It's like the soundtrack to modern life.
It really is, this constant sense of urgency, of scarcity. We've built this idea of time as this linear thing marching forward, and now we feel trapped by it.
But Abhi Duggal says this whole running out of time thing is itself a profound illusion.
It's fascinating when you think about it. Consider those moments when you're totally absorbed in something you love.
Like painting or playing music.
Or just having a really deep, heartfelt conversation.
Yeah.
Where does time go then?
It just disappears. You're
Yeah.
completely present.
Exactly. You're fully in the moment, which is where life actually happens, isn't it?
Mhm.
Where creativity just flows.
And here's the kicker, right? The moment you think, oh no, I'm running out of time, what happens in your body?
The physiology kicks in.
Yeah. Your heart rate goes up, blood pressure rises, muscles tense. You flip into fight or flight.
So the thought itself creates the stress.
Exactly. Creates the physical feeling that makes time feel like it's speeding up. It becomes the self-fulfilling prophecy of stress and scarcity.
Which leads to a really profound question. What if time isn't actually this finite resource we're always losing? What if it's more like a boundless continuum?
Wow.
This illusion keeps us rushing, regretting the past, worrying about the future. It stops us from just savoring the now.
So the idea is time isn't our master. It's more like a dimension we can consciously choose to inhabit, maybe even expand through our presence.
Precisely. Imagine this. What would your day look like if you truly believed you had all the time in the world for what truly matters?
That changes everything.
And again, the breath is the anchor. It pulls you right back to this moment, interrupting that frantic mental loop of not enough time. It lets you literally slow down your internal clock.
Just pondering that question feels like it creates more space already. Okay, what's illusion number 4?
Number 4 is identity.
Identity, okay. This makes you ask that big question. Who are you really?
Deep one.
And we tend to cling so tightly to labels, don't we? I'm a doctor, I'm a mother, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an artist, whatever it is. We put them on our LinkedIn, wear them like costumes.
And we defend these narratives fiercely.
Yeah. But the source points out how fluid identity really is. You're different at work than you are with your close friends, right? And think about yourself at 15 versus yourself at 45. Vastly different people in many ways.
It's crucial to get this. Those labels, your job, your roles, your past, your social media persona, they don't capture the fluid, ever-changing essence of who you are beneath the story.
So the illusion is thinking that identity is fixed, static.
Yes. And that illusion causes immense suffering. When a role changes, you lose a job, a relationship ends, maybe your core beliefs get challenged. We feel like we've lost ourselves because we've mistakenly identified with a temporary label, the costume.
That leads to rigidity, right? Fear of change, comparing ourselves constantly.
All of that. So the alternative perspective is seeing your true identity, not as the label, but as the boundless, unnameable consciousness that's experiencing all these roles.
Like the actor behind the different masks, not the masks themselves.
Beautiful analogy. The liberation comes when you realize you are not just the story you tell yourself or the roles you play.
So the reflection here is,
Try this. If you stripped away every label, every title, every role you play, who would you be right now in this very moment?
oh, just a presence.
Perhaps. And again, conscious breathing is a portal here. Focusing on the simple sensation of breath bypasses all those mental stories about who you are. It connects you directly to that underlying presence, the being that exists before any label gets stuck on.
That's incredibly profound, thinking about how much freedom lies beyond those definitions we cling to. Okay. One more illusion left.
The last one.
Yeah.
And it's perhaps the most mind-bending. It's matter.
Matter. Okay, so look around you right now, listener. That screen you're looking at, the chair you might be sitting on, even your own hand. It all feels solid, right? Real, tangible.
Absolutely. We operate entirely under this assumption, this grand illusion, that matter is inherently solid and separate.
But science tells a different story.
Modern physics, quantum mechanics, string theory consistently points to something else. Abhi Duggal puts it starkly. Anything you perceive as solid is, at its most fundamental level, proportionately as void as intergalactic space.
As void as intergalactic space, what does that even mean?
It's hard to grasp. Imagine an atom blown up to the size of a football stadium. The nucleus, the dense part, it'd be like a tiny pea in the very center.
Wow.
And the electrons, even tinier specks orbiting way out at the edges. Almost the entire thing is just emptiness. Enormous emptiness.
So what we perceive as solid, the table, my hand, it's actually just energy vibrating at incredibly high speeds within this vast field of nothingness.
That's the picture science paints. The solidity is a construct of our senses, our brain's interpretation of these energy vibrations. It's convenient for navigating the world, but it's not the fundamental reality.
So you, me, this room, the whole universe,
Yeah.
It's all just this incredible dance of energy.
A mesmerizing dance, yes. What seems solid is just a momentary pattern, a manifestation within a grand, unified energy field.
And the illusion of solidity.
Yeah.
What does that do to us?
Well, it binds us to a perceived reality of separation. Me over here, you over there. My stuff, your stuff. It fuels ideas of scarcity. There's only so much solid stuff to go around. It reinforces perceived physical limitations.
Creates that us versus them mentality, the feeling of not enough.
Exactly. But if you start to shift your perspective even a little towards seeing everything as dynamic, interconnected energy,
Yeah.
well, scarcity starts to look different when resources are seen as fluid energy, right?
Right.
Physical limitations might seem less absolute when you view your body as this miraculous, vibrating field too.
That completely flips the script on how we view challenges, resources, even our own bodies. Okay, so let's bring it all together. These 5 illusions. Predictability, control, time, identity, and matter. What's the big takeaway?
They really are, as Abhi Duggal suggests, the invisible chains that bind us. And when we operate from these false assumptions, the consequences are clear and they're far-reaching.
You mean beyond just our personal stress levels?
Oh, absolutely. The source explicitly connects living under these illusions to everything from personal conflict, marital issues, anxiety, depression, all the way up to broader societal problems.
Like what?
Think about it. If you deeply buy into the illusion of separation, rooted in the illusions of matter and identity, doesn't that naturally foster division, racism, bigotry, prejudice? Doesn't it fuel conflict, even war and terrorism? And if you're constantly driven by the illusion of scarcity tied to time, resources, the need for control, doesn't that drive unsustainable actions? Things like rampant consumerism, environmental destruction, climate change, species extinction.
Wow. So these aren't just personal psychological quirks. They're like the underlying operating system driving a lot of our collective dysfunction.
That's a great way to put it. Because we are bound by these deep-seated illusions of separation, scarcity, and rigidity, we inevitably manifest them. In our own lives, yes, but also on a global scale.
And this is where the teachings, the practices from Abhi Duggal and the School of Breath really come into play.
Precisely. The guidance is to breathe through these illusions. Use the breath as a tool to gently dissolve their hold. to loosen those invisible chains.
To step into that vast, open space of our true nature that you mentioned earlier.
Yes, it's a powerful invitation, really. It's saying, look, it's time to get playful with reality, to use your breath to unveil what's actually true, instead of staying imprisoned by these subtle yet incredibly powerful deceptions.
So there you have it, a deep dive into the 5 grand illusions. Recognizing them, just understanding how they quietly shape your reality, that feels like the first really powerful step towards finding more freedom, more peace in life.
It really is the starting point.
And our goal here at the Deep Dive, as always, is to be your shortcut to being well-informed, maybe offering those surprising insights, those aha moments that stick with you and genuinely shift how you see things.
And maybe leave you with something to chew on. As you go about your day, consider this final thought, sort of a provocation.
Okay, let's hear it.
If our reality, the one we experience every single day, is so profoundly shaped by these illusions, what deeper truths might be lying just beyond our current perception? Truths waiting to be unveiled, perhaps simply by changing how we breathe, how we observe, what new possibilities might open up if we truly started to embrace the inherent fluidity, the interconnectedness of everything, not just as a cool idea, but as a lived, felt reality.